Frequent flyers, flies, la 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 la. Frequent flyers back.
What's up? You checking out the Frequent Flyer. Welcome back to the channel. Smash the like button to show your support. If you're new to the channel, I'd like to extend a warm welcome. And so I'm back out here at the park. This time I got that Envision out here, the Junior 75 drone. And this is what I've done to it, guys. So I have a XM Plus on here, installed an FR Sky receiver in here, and so I have the antennas. Oh man, I forgot to cut my zip ties. But anyhow, I got them zip tied to the bottom of the frame there so that they stick out like that. Hopefully that'll be enough spread and enough reception area off to the side there for this thing. And I did test hover it indoors. This thing is really heavy. I weighed it on the initial unboxing and all, so you guys should be able to see how heavy this thing is. It's really heavy. I tried to fly it with 2S. I really don't like flying 3S on a Whoop because it just seems like overkill, just way too much for me. I did have another quad that was a Whoop from Maiden FPV that was 3S compatible, but it was an 85mm frame, so that quad, it flew really nice, but it was larger. You got smaller props to deal with on this, and so I'm guessing it'll be okay, but probably a little sluggish because of the weight. This thing is really heavy, and I did try to hover this indoors with a 2S, and it does hover. The punch seemed to be really weak. And I ended up leaving some of the wire from the VTX sticking out here a little bit, and when I was hovering it, it got chopped, kind of got disconnected, chopped off by the prop over here, and so the thing fell down. I had to resolder the connection, so everything should be working fine now. Gonna test this thing off with 2S just to show you guys how weak it is with 2S, and then we're going to go to 3S. The 3S I have is a 300 milliamp hour. That's what they're recommending for this thing. My 300 milliamp hour is really old though, and it's an off brand, so I'm not expecting much from it. LDARC. And so just a maiden flight for this guy to see how it flies. I just want to see the punch with a 3S and a 2S, and I ultimately might end up just removing these motors from here because these are 1103 8000 kV motors, and the kV is set for 3S. Most 3S toothpicks usually come with this size and kV, and so I might even just move these electronics over to a frame, an open frame, for a 3S and all, 2S and 3S, because I think 2S would work well with this electronic setup if the props were larger. And this thing is really rugged. It's like a tank. Let's get this guy in the air. I'm anxious to see it fly. I did set everything up in beta flight and all. We're going to test this thing out first with a 450 GMB. So just want to see the punch out and all in an open field. Let's see. Came with 2 battery straps. Oh, and I forgot to mention that this thing seems to be some years old, at least 6 years old. And I saw people were doing updates on it years later, and none of the components changed. Well, the component did change, one of them. Anyhow, the camera is different. Mine has a run cam instead of the Caddx. It had a Caddx EOS 2 originally, but they switched it to this run cam. So I don't know if it's better or what, but I'm a fan of I'm a bigger fan of run cam. Let's get it up in here. I think my hand is not steady enough. Does it say about the arm switch? It's saying something about the arm switch. Okay, there it is. It's barely enough to keep this thing in the air. Check it out. So that's the punch out on 2S. Let's slide around with 2S anyhow. FPV. Sheesh. It's heavy. So I'm going to switch the motors to a higher kV and try to fly it on 2S, and then I ultimately might just switch this thing to a different frame, an open frame. Let's see if we can even do a flip. Yeah, we can do a flip. But let's bring this thing back. A lot of stress on this battery, I bet. It's flying nice though. No, not a lot of vibration or anything like that. Let me save that recording. And I say that because I had it in acro mode, and then when I switched it back to angle mode, it didn't lean on me. It didn't hardly move at all. That's how I judge it. Well, let's get this thing up in the air with a 3S. This 3S might be worse than the 2S because this thing is so old. I don't know. Hopefully it's not. Let's hit the record button. Okay, gotta try to be still with it. Okay. What? My nerves are too shaky. Let me sit this thing down, y'all. Okay, we're on 3S. Let's try punch out. Still sluggish. But it's better than 2S, definitely. Do some FPV. Not bad for a beginner, I guess. Yeah, you can hear this thing screaming. Been having a problem with my digital whoop light system. Squirrels throwing things out of the trees. Yeah, my digital whoop light systems, they're the cameras are burning out on all of them, and I'm 100% sure it's the camera. Happened a few times now. I'm just cruising along. Telling me to land now. I don't want to kill this battery. Battery did good enough. Try to bring it back. Yeah, so it flies pretty smooth and all. just the lack of power. I'm thinking maybe with higher kV motors I still can use a 3S and all, but I really would rather fly this thing with 2S. It'll be a lot more lighter. This canopy and all, and this frame, the whole thing is just very beefy and all. Just brings up the weight, but it, I'm sure, increases the durability and all. So I'm trying to think, do I want to keep it in this frame or at least keep the canopy, or do I want to swap it to a lighter frame and whatnot and keep it as a whoop, or maybe an open frame like I said I was going to do and keep the 3S electronics and all intact. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do. Let me know if you like this thing or not. Thanks for watching.